Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. I am excited about today's show, folks. I'm going to tell you, I have a bucket list of guests that I'm managing to one by one fulfill in my old age, and today is one of them, and I'm excited. The Viper is the name of the book one of the books that we're going to cover today. I Am Princess Diana is the other one. And Brad Meltzer is my guest today. And I'll tell you, I don't have my dog-eared copy of it around here somewhere, but a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and I still am a comic book fan, the series Identity Crisis hooked me. And I've been hooked ever since on our guest today, Brad Meltzer. Brad Meltzer is the Emmy-nominated #1 New York Times best-selling author of The Lightning Rod and 12 other best-selling thrillers. He also writes nonfiction books like The JFK Conspiracy and The Ordinary People Change and Ordinary People Change the World children's book series. We're going to, again, talk about I Am Princess Diana later today. Brad's also the host of, again, one of my all-time favorite shows, Brad Meltzer's Decoded. We may talk about that today as well on the History Channel, and is responsible for helping find the missing 9/11 flag with his show Brad Meltzer's Lost History. One of those moments in history that you have to see. Go find it on YouTube. I may even link it in the description of this program. He also recently gave the commencement address at his alma mater, the University of Michigan, when his son graduated. A great man in history, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so honored to have him here today. Brad Meltzer. Brad, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you, Brother Tim. That's the kindest introduction. I appreciate it.
Again, the pleasure's all mine. The honor's all mine to have you here today. First of all, first question I want to open up with today, and again, I'm a super fan. I'm just going to admit it. I'm going to fanboy all over you today, and I hope you don't mind. I've followed all of your works, and I noticed that at least to me, it seems like there's gears to your work. So reading The Viper, and I read it from cover to cover, I enjoyed it. I savored it. To me, this seems like hyper Brad Meltzer. Boy, I tell you, and the way I observe your work, it seems to me like a spider web. We start with a thread, and then you can look at a spider web and you see it starts with one thread, and then it expands and it explodes, right? And there's all these different threads that come together in this beautiful pattern. But then eventually comes back into one thread because it has to connect from 2 points, right? But in there's this beautiful pattern, but we see it as one thing, and it's very easy to follow, but yet you can connect to it, and it's all one thing, and it's one big beautiful pattern tapestry. It's easy to get stuck to, but you never get lost. You know what it is when you see it. It's a spider web, and it all comes together beautifully. I never get lost in your stories, never. Yet I'm intrigued and fascinated. And you managed to take me along for a ride, even though the minutia is so incredibly complex, right? And then you've got comics, which are, I tell you, your comic work is some of the most complex I've ever seen in the business, right? You've got your children's books, which are amazing. They're amazing that you managed to deal out a lesson for children, yet include history and teach them history at the same time. But it seems like you kick into these different gears. Is there a different Brad Meltzer that's writing The Viper from the Brad Meltzer that's writing I Am Princess Diana to the Brad Meltzer that's writing Identity Crisis? Do you slip into different Brad Meltzers when you write these?
It's a fair question. I don't think I do. I mean, I think one thing you'll see in every single one of them, no matter whether it's a thriller that's murdering people or a kid's book that's trying to inspire kids because we want to put better heroes for our kids today, or a nonfiction book or a TV show, they're all one thing. It's my core belief. I believe ordinary people change the world. I don't care where you went to school. I don't care how much money you make. That's nonsense to me. I believe in regular people and their ability to affect change in this world. And that is the one constant that is always me. It's just, that's my core belief. It's who I am. It's whether I like to or not, my stories, the ones I'm interested in, always have that at the core. But I do think it would be disingenuous to say like I'm always the same, because I think what you're seeing in the kids' books is well, I'll say in the thrillers is you're seeing that kind of darker side of me that, sees and realizes that there's a dark side to humanity, but there's also a good side to humanity. And those are the two push and pull that's happening in the Viper. But when you read the I Am Kids books, you're certainly seeing that same thing, right? You're seeing these subversive heroes pushing back against what they think is wrong in their society, fighting back. But you're also seeing the dad version of me. You're seeing the version that wants to inspire my kids. You're seeing that one that's worried about where we're going as a culture and how do we make sure our kids have better lessons. So I think it's kind of like there's this famous quote that says, Mark Twain, everyone attributes it to Mark Twain, but Mark Twain never said it. It says, history doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme.
Yeah.
And I think to your question, it's the same me, but there's just there's a little bit of rhyme in there. There's a little bit of difference.
I got to ask you this too. As I'm reading the Viper, you have this way of creating this world that is so complex, so detailed. Every character has this rich tapestry to them. How do you keep from not getting lost?
Yeah, no. So let's talk about the Viper. Let's just do the setup real quick, just so people know what we're talking about.
Sure.
The Viper opens up. A man walks into a funeral home carrying his favorite blue suit because he's got a terminal disease. This is the suit he wants to be buried in. And here's the thing. If you go to your local bank and you open up this safety deposit box, paperwork gets filed. It means the government could eventually track it. Same thing if you go to the UPS store and you open up a P.O. box. But if you secretly sew something into the lining of your favorite suit and you hand that suit over to your local mortician, you have the ultimate untraceable hiding spot. So that suit is left in the care of the mortician. The man goes back to his hotel. There's a guy with a gun waiting in the hotel room, says, "Where is it?" Man says, "I don't know what you're talking about." Guy shoots the man dead. And that suit is still in the mortician's office. You won't believe what's hidden inside it or who's about to find it. And that's chapter 1 of the Viper. Now I start with that little nugget, but I can't make any of that go until I understand as much as I can about everybody that's in that scene. I can give you the plot and be like, he kills him and he kills her, and this one's trading on this one, and this one's cheating on this. But it's not going to feel real until you feel them as real people. And so for me, to directly answer your question, I used to keep it all in my head. The whole thing was in my head. I write down, I write down notes for a little bit here and there, especially the first 100 pages I would outline pretty quickly. And then I would just really do it in my head. And now, as middle age hits, I got to really write it down. Because one of the things that happened on the Viper is I cracked this one part in the middle. And I always talk to my wife when I plot the books. And I say, "What do you think of this?" And she's always like, "That's stupid." And she'll say, "That's dumb," or "I don't believe that," or "Why would he do that?" And I have to keep throwing it at her until she says, "Huh, that's good." And if I can impress her, then I feel like I got something good. So I worked the whole thing. I got it out. I figure out what I like. And I write it down. She says, "Write it down. You're going to forget it." And I write it all down. And I get to that section of the book because I'm now going to write that section of the book. And I can't find where I wrote it down. I just don't even remember. Like, I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it. So I go back to my wife. I re-crack the whole middle. I'm like, this and this and this. I think it was this. And this is like months later. And then I go to write it. And what happens is I actually find the original thing that I misplaced. The good news was, Tim, they were the same. So I may be forgetful, but I'm consistent. So but I had to keep it all straight. I have to make kind of like a little web of it.
Interesting. What I found refreshing about this, and I think, this show is also an offshoot of a paranormal supernatural show that we do on Wednesdays and Thursdays as well. What's interesting and kind of fun about this book is our main character, Zig, is also a mortician, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But he also works with the government and works with the military. So we tie this all into this murder that you're talking about, and also works along with Gold Star families and whatnot. And we get this all thrown in here, and we tie this into this story that we'll talk a little bit more about. And to me, I'm doing a horrible job of this here, Brad, but to start to talk a little bit about Zig as we get into this, I'm finding all these fascinating details about Zig, and you're putting it together as we start to introduce characters. But the character that got killed in the beginning, Andrew Fechmeier, you even managed to give us details about Andrew Fechmeier in that first chapter, the fact that he's dying as he's killed, right?
But if you don't care about him, you're not going to follow the story. You got to love him in that first chapter. You got to feel bad for him. You got to feel empathy for him. Otherwise, who cares? A dead guy. Next one. But you're begging. But that your question begs the right. You're begging the right question here, which is, those things you're uncovering about Zig. The reason you find them, I hope, interesting, because I find them interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I found Zig's job. I was working with the USO. I do a lot of work with the USO. They've taken me all over the world. They used to bring it, as the war was winding down years ago, they would bring 6 thriller writers every year to go entertain our troops. And I got one of the calls, and I was honored to go. It was me and Michael Connelly, a couple of, some Sandra Brown, and we all went to entertain the troops because the troops love reading thrillers. It's actually, the genre that really gets read a lot in the military. And it was there I heard of Dover Air Force Base. And I didn't know what Dover was. If you've never heard of Dover, you've seen it, though. It's where when a soldier dies and is killed in action, and that flag-covered coffin comes off the plane, everyone salutes. And that's Dover Air Force Base. But it's not just for our fallen troops. When the space shuttle blew up, all the astronauts, their bodies went to Dover. When 9/11 happened, all the Pentagon victims went to Dover. And even recently, right now, when our CIA agents across the globe, or something goes sideways, their bodies go to Dover too, all of our 007s. So it means Dover's a place filled with secrets. And I love secrets.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to write about this place. This place is America's most secretive funeral home, filled with the government's biggest secrets. All the people who die there that are on secret missions, it's the morticians who know what's really going on because they have to identify who it is, figure out what's going on, make sure the body matches and the name and the thing, and they need to know who everyone is. And I was like, this is the coolest funeral home I've ever heard. It's the most top secret funeral home in the world. I want to get inside there. And the reason why you're going, wow, this place is cool, is because I was doing the same thing, and I'm just sharing with you my own fascination with this world. And when you read The Viper, you get to step into this secretive government world, and I love that. I mean, to me, it's like true crime is great, but when you can have like secrets on top of it and government secrets on top of that, like it's true. That's what The Viper really is like this ultimate true crime, because I base it all on real stories.
The other thing, without getting too far ahead, that you delve into the world of, again, without giving too much away. I don't want to give too much away. I want people to pick up this book and really read. Is delving into the world of. Does
it start with a W?
I'm trying to think if it does. Let's say communities where.
Well, let's say, no, we can talk about this. We got witness protection.
Witness protection. Yes. It does start with a W. Yes. Witness protection.
So we can talk about this without ruining anything in the book.
Good.
Okay. So here's the way I've taken my readers into the tunnels below the Capitol, the secret catacomb, below the White House, where the hidden tunnels are there. I love doing that because I want to go there myself. And I was obsessed with witness protection. I was like, I want to know more about witness protection. And when you think of witness protection, what do you think of? You think of like Tony Soprano or the end of Goodfellas, right? Some guy gets a nose job and they go put him in Colorado and, he rats out the mob and then he lives his life. And that's why witness protection was created, right? It was to basically make sure that to take down the mob. And it worked, Tim. It actually worked. The mob became weaker because people were testifying against mobsters. They would hide them somewhere, and the mob got decimated. It's not as strong as it once was. So the mobsters were actually the biggest group that was in witness protection for a while. But it's not like crime fades. What happens is different criminals take their space. So after that, it was gangs started thriving. So gang members became the biggest group in witness protection. And then when 9/11 happened, we started chasing terrorists. Terrorists became the biggest group in witness protection. You want to know the biggest group in witness protection right now? It's actually accountants.
Really?
Accountants. Because why? Because we're a world full of data and trying to figure out where it is. So I promise you, when you read The Viper without ruining anything, you will never look at witness protection the same way again. But you're going to see how to hide from the government. you're going to see how to escape the government, right? Like, because back, and think of it this way, when witness protection first started, they put someone in a new neighborhood and whatever. Remember, think of when you were younger. Someone new moved to town. You go, oh, the family moved to town. And you either tried to talk to them or you didn't. You cared about them or you didn't. And life went on. But now what happens when someone moves to town? What do? We go meet them, okay? And then we say, I want to know more about them. So we put in there, see if they have a Facebook page. Where'd they come from? If they don't have a Facebook page, we're like, oh, it's even more suspicious. Now we got to really put their name in. Now we got to see if they're on any of the, if on the criminal database, if they're, child molester database. We certainly look on Zillow, got to see how much they paid for their house. Like we can find all this stuff at our fingertips. So for the government, trying to hide has become so much harder. Yeah. It's near impossible to hide. You got to make up these whole fake backgrounds that have gone back 20 years. Because if you don't have that digital footprint, everyone knows it's all fake. Right. So again, you're going to see, without reading anything, when you read The Viper, you're going to see how to hide from the government.
It's an amazing book. I want to get back to Zig here for a second, because you've done something intriguing with this character, and that's this. You've given him, every one of your characters seems to have this fatal flaw, or they seem to have this thing to their character that is a weakness that makes them more than just human. It gives them this, it's kind of their kryptonite. I'll put it that way. In Zig's case, not only is this mortician that works for the government, but he's a mortician that also has a dead daughter. I mean, a daughter that has met a tragic end. And I don't know if you want to talk about that tragic end here or not, but she's met a tragic end, and he's having a hard time dealing with it. I mean, he's having an impossible time dealing with it. So much so that now that he's come back to work for the government, it's really affected not only his career, but the way he actually lives his life. I mean, he's got an ex-wife as a result, right?
Yeah, and listen, there's a phrase in every thriller writer knows, and it says, don't let the character work the case, let the case work the character. It's brilliant, so simple. And that's all every case Zig has in one of these books. He thinks he's working the case, but the case is working him. Because the one thing that Zig will never have, he can bring peace to all of these fallen soldiers. He can help this family that is suffering. He can help this spy that, come in and may, give their family a little bit of closure, but he's never going to get peace himself. He's never, ever going to get over the death of his daughter. And Nola, our other character, is never going to get over the fact she never had a family. So Zig will never have his daughter. Nola will never have a father, but they got each other. And that's always what drives the book is because we're all of us. We all are amazing, but we all have some part of us that's empty, whether it's someone that we, has passed away and we miss, whether it's something that happened in our childhood that we just are trying to still move past, whether it's just a mistake we make that we wish we'd take back. None of us have these perfect lives. So why should the characters in the books we read and the movies we watch, right? And so it's not that I say, okay, what's his flaw going to be and what's her flaw going to be? It's not that I give them a flaw. What I do is I just make them human. And something drives all of us, right? Tell me about your childhood, Tim, and I'll tell you who you are. And that's for all of us. And for Zig, it just happens to be, of course, the loss of his daughter. He can do as many funerals as he wants. He can do as many investigations as he wants. He can bring closure to all these murders, but it's never going to bring back his daughter. But man, he's not giving up tomorrow or the next day or the next day.
In your opinion, I mean, is there anyone out there who has as close to a perfect childhood as possible, or are we all so incredibly flawed and dysfunctional that there's always some meat on the bone there that you can find something to explore?
I don't know. It's funny. When I was younger, I used to think, I remember when I was in college, there were friends of mine who they would tell me about these, they would go to their dad for advice. And they'd be like, my dad gave me such good advice today. And I remember being like, what? My dad didn't go to college. My dad couldn't give me advice. My dad was poorly educated. He was a maniac. He lost his temper all the time. He was overreacted to everything, getting the fights with everyone. And I remember thinking, you have it perfect. You got the family that does it. But I can tell you, again, years after, no one has it perfect. And my dad maybe didn't give me advice, but man, did that guy love me with whatever he had in him. That guy friggin' loved me. And he couldn't give me everything I wanted, but he gave me everything I needed, right? He gave me self-confidence. He gave me a sense of self. And I've never met anyone who said, I had it perfect and I got it all. And if they do, that's their flaw, right? Because they're clearly blind to how oblivious they are, thinking that everything's perfect and that they're perfect. Because I always say, to me, the smartest person in the room is not the person who thinks they're the smartest in the room. That's just the one with the most fragile ego. The smartest people I know are the ones, there's always more to learn. There's always a better version of us out there, and we can always improve. Yeah. So that's my belief about life. It's why I believe ordinary people change the world, right? It's ordinary doesn't mean you come from money or you don't come from money, or you come from, it's not, that's what ordinary is. Ordinary is like, we're all scared and terrified, and we're all brave and cowards, and we're all amazing and terrible, sometimes in the same few days, sometimes within the same few minutes. But that's not a flaw. It's what makes us human. And I just try to kind of let my characters reflect that. I think when you're reading a book, what you're seeing is the author's view of the world. And that's just my view. I don't think anyone has it perfect.
So what was it about Brad Meltzer and his upbringing that got him to gravitate towards not only great leaders, but great people, and start to gravitate towards writing about them?
Yeah, I truthfully think I can give you a nice speech that says, I'm just, I'm this strong person. I want to be the best dad, and I want to give my kids better heroes to look up to, which I do. But you asked it in a really interesting way, which is like, why? Why do I care about doing that? That's the far harder question. I know what I'm trying to achieve. I want to give my kids better heroes than they see on Instagram, or someone with 1 million followers, or, that's BS to me. Like, that's fame. Mm-hmm. And being famous is very different to me than being a hero. But why do I care so much about that? And I think in some ways, I really do think, I think we create what we need. I think our heroes are always what we need. I think you see in if you look back at the history of, let's just do the history of superheroes for a moment.
Sure.
Right. So basically superheroes don't exist. And then in 1938, 39, right, as World War II is encroaching on our shore, 2 16-year-old teenage boys, 17-year-old teenage boys come up with the idea for Superman and put him in a red, white, and blue, basically, costume that's really a walking flag. And America's scared, and we want someone to come save us. And then suddenly Superman's created and sells 1 million copies, and no one knows why. And go to, right after that, of course, all these other heroes come: Captain America, Batman, Wonder Woman. All these heroes come to save us. World War II's hitting. We're terrified as a culture. If you look at 9/11, look at the heroes. The first big superhero movie that was breaking through at that time, when we thought, irony's over, it's dead, we'll never be entertained again, we'll never laugh again. What's the first superhero movie that broke through? It was Spider-Man and the X-Men. Suddenly, superhero movies went on a tear for the past 20 years, right? 25 years. Why? Because we were, again, a culture that wanted someone to come save us. And that's just how the culture always works. You don't get the hero you want, you get the hero you need, which is just my way of saying, why do I care about that? Because that's what I want. I want someone to come be a better example right now. I want someone to show me what it means to be a good person, to have perseverance, to show some compassion to people, show some kindness to people. Like, man, I'm starving for that. And I want that for my kids too. And I think the reason why so many adults have followed, I know we're talking about murder and killing people in the Viper, but like, just to transition to our kids' books, we have a whole line of kids' books that I started because I was like, I'm going to give them better heroes. So we started with I'm Amelia Earhart, we did I'm Abraham Lincoln, I'm Rosa Parks, I'm Dr. King, and said, hey, we're going to do a whole line of kids' books now to show people that. But the answer why is because I think it's what I need. It's what I want and need.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's take our break. When we come back, let's finish up talking about the Viper. Let's talk about I Am Princess Diana. And there was an interesting article that came out literally just overnight, and it named some of the members of Bohemian Grove. So let's talk a little decoded on the other side.
I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that? So
of course.
Let's talk a little bit about that when we come back. My guest is Brad Meltzer. The book is amazing, folks. On a 5 scale, it's 100. It's called The Viper, a Zig and Nola novel. It's a fast-paced thriller of family bonds and deadly conspiracy. Escape Artist Book 3. It is available right now. We have a link in the description of this program. We also have a link to I Am Princess Diana, and I encourage you to go get the entire series for your children because, again, not only does it have those important lessons in there, but it also gives you the history of some of the most important people in America and sets up that foundation for your children. I know I'm getting the entire series for my brand new grandnephew, Bennett, so that he can have those important lessons and those important people in history in front of him as he gets older. All right, folks, before we go to break, I want to remind you that you've got your in-laws, you've got your neighbors, you've got your friends that all have their spot, right? That they go hang out at in the weekend, that great food spot you hear about, that great restaurant that you're jealous of. Well, you know what? You may not have that spot, but I'm going to introduce you to a spot. Jelly Bean and Julia's over there in Coon Rapids. That's right. Jelly Bean and Julia's barbecue is amazing. And you know what? That's my spot. That's where I go hang out on the weekend. Jelly Bean and Julia's, of course, has that amazing tender brisket. It's got those ribs with just the right amount of pull. It's got the double brined chicken wings. It's got the sauces. You've got the apple bourbon sauce. You've got the Holy Trinity and much, much more over there. Corey and Coley are waiting for you right now. The entire staff is over there waiting for you right now. Of course, they've got the wonderful entertainment on weekends. You've got pull tabs. You've got much, much more. 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard. And they're the sponsor of this program, Jelly Bean and Julia's. Go visit them today. There's a link in the description of this program. Click on it. Go see everything that Jelly Bean and Julia's barbecue has to offer. Jelly Bean and Julia's in Coon Rapids. Go visit them today. More with Brad Meltzer in just a moment right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest, Brad Meltzer. The book is The Viper, a fast-paced thriller of family bonds and deadly conspiracies. Escape Artist Book 3. We're also talking about I Am Princess Diana. That'll come up here in just a little bit, and then we'll cover some other topics as well. With The Viper, I want to talk a little bit about the worlds that connect with Zig just a little bit here. He's also got his friend Roddy, who is connected to Nola as well. It's Nola's brother. I find Roddy fascinating as well because, again, you're talking about a cop who's a little bit on the looser side, but he's not just an ancillary throwaway character. Again, there's this rich tapestry to Roddy that he feels lost, yet he also feels like a character that wants to be independent, yet he also needs, doesn't he?
He does. Roddy is one of those characters that he really sometimes just takes over a scene because he writes himself, and I can plan what I want him to do, but the whole idea of Roddy, we all have friends like this, is like the only thing predictable about them is they're unpredictable.
Yeah.
And so whatever he does, there's going to be a little bit of chaos there. And it's what I love about him is as a writer, it's an instant monkey wrench. It makes my life harder, but it makes the book really move. And it gives us as you see in this one, what Roddy is looking for and the case that's really affected here. It's the death of his mother. And talk about the case that, the casework and the character. Roddy is going to do anything that he can do to find who killed his mother, and God help anyone who gets in their way. And to me, that is the ultimate, I think the best cases and the best books are the ones where you're like, it doesn't matter what the rules are. It doesn't matter what the cop's supposed to do. If it was your mom and she was gone, God forbid, and anyone that got in your way, man, forget it. You would be, run through a wall for that person. And that's what Roddy's basically doing this entire book, is just determined to murder whoever killed his mother. And as a result, it just makes him unstoppable. I mean, his drive it plows through the entire book and gives him to me, that an edge that you can't take that away.
That's the kind of first of all, he's very passionate, and you're right. He does kind of, he's that chaos agent. He's the one who just, when you think he's going to throw a knife, he pulls out a gun. Or, you know, he's the kind who, when you think you're going to get a calm response, he blows up in the middle of everything. And he is the one who keeps everyone on their toes. And it's that type of writing. The thing I love about your writing, when you think you're going left, you go right. When you think you're going up, you're going down. When I got to tell you, Brad, when I read your stuff, I challenge anyone to read your stuff and think you know where you're going. I mean, it's this roller coaster.
I appreciate that. I mean, you know, for me, when I'm reading a book myself, this is what it's like to live with me, right? So I'm watching a movie with my wife. We were watching this movie, and I'm about 5-10 minutes into it, and I go, "You want to know how it ends?" She's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do." I'm like, "I'm telling you, I know how." She's like, "Don't tell me how it ends." We get to the end of the movie. She goes, "Were you right?" And I go, "My way's better." Like, right? Because I can't always be right. But my point is like, I see movies and books, when I read something, it's a challenge. We're playing a game. If I guess the ending, I win. And if the author can keep their ending a surprise to me, they win. And that's how I am as a writer. If you can guess my ending of The Viper, you win. If not, I win. The only rule is I got to play fair. I can't be like the butler who you haven't seen since page 1 and suddenly is like, "I did it," and pull off the Scooby-Doo mask, right? Like, it's got to be, to me, the best books are when I tell you who done it, you go, "Oh my God, how did I not see that?" The clues are right there and there and there. And when I'm writing the books, what I usually do in those drafts is I give them to my friends. And when they say like, "Oh, I totally guessed the ending," I take away a clue. Or I'll take away 3 clues, right? And then they'll go like, "That came out of nowhere." I'm like, "Okay, let me put back 2." And they're like, and until I get that point just right where they go, "Man, I should have seen it coming." And you got to figure out just the right amount of fair clues so that when the person gets there, they're just, and I love that so many people at the end of The Viper are like, "Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that final twist.
Yeah.
Didn't see what was happening in the end."
Yeah. Yeah. I give up when I was reading this. I gave up about halfway through trying to guess. I just enjoyed the ride because I couldn't. I thought I knew. I thought I knew about halfway through, and then I went, "You know what? I give up." I really thought I did the same thing the first time I read Identity Crisis. I thought I knew, and you took us on twists and turns there too. And that's the very first thing I read of yours where I was hooked. And I said, I need to know everything this guy does. I
appreciate that. Identity Crisis is a comic book. It changed my life because when I did Green Arrow for DC Comics, that was an amazing opportunity. I was writing novels and then it gave me Green Arrow. But Identity Crisis, I was taking over for the great Kevin Smith, and it was put into that was the book as existed. But with Identity Crisis, they basically said, "Do what you want." So I could bring my thriller writing skills to Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. And I just wrote a murder mystery with superheroes. And what really happened is, I was so kind. I could never thank the community enough. Those people who followed me in Identity Crisis have been with me since. You've been with me for 20 years now. And I wouldn't be sitting here today if you didn't buy Identity Crisis. And so I thank you, Tim. I mean, it's one of the nicest compliments. When I did that story, it was going to be some small little intimate tale. It wasn't supposed to be a big crossover. And it just kind of, people read it and were like, "Oh, this is something to me." And some people love it and some people hate it and people will argue over it. But the fact that 20 years later, people are still talking about that book I never expected that. I mean, I still, on almost a regular basis, once a week, there's some thread somewhere arguing about whether it's the greatest comic ever written or the worst one ever written. Like, there's still like a debate going on. And I'm like, I can't believe that's still there. But what it did is it introduced me to the people who realized that it's not about the character. It's like they just want a good whodunit. They want a good true crime thriller. And so if you're a true crime lover, and obviously I know what this podcast is, like, I think you're going to really enjoy The Viper because I base even the story that it's based on, I base on some twist of reality, something that I found in the real news, something that I won't ruin the ending, but even that big finale of what you see there is still based on something that someone said to me, "Yeah, this is close to what really happened." And then I built the whole thing on that reality. I just obviously have the beauty of making it fiction.
I'll tell people this as we begin to wrap up the talk about The Viper, and that's this. There are very few books I can read, a printed page where I'm reading a scene and I'm sitting on the edge of my recliner on a fight scene, and I'm like I'm digging into my iPad as I'm reading it.
My fight scene, I love where my fight scenes are like choreographed. Like I take those super seriously. Super seriously. So that's a very kind compliment.
Yeah, and I have anxiety because I'm rooting for a certain person to win this fight, but it's such a back and forth, and not only do I see it in my head, I feel it in my heart.
Yeah, that final battle. I won't say who it's with, but with Nola at the end is one of my. That one was one, and the underground garage one is one that just both of those. I don't do them often, but when I try and do them, I save them for I want this to be the best thing you've ever read in an action sequence in a book. And I don't blow up buildings and murder people we do it realistically. I talk to real people on what they should do. I talk to the real people in the military. Give me the best secrets you got to beat somebody. Show me what it is. And so I don't make it up. It's always kind of comes out of some real point or real angle.
Yeah. Yeah, and boy, does it come across with such reality, Brad. It's such a good book, such a good book. Again, folks, The Viper, a fast-paced thriller of family bonds and deadly conspiracy. We have a link in the description of this program. We're going to remind you before the end of the program. I do want to transition and talk about the I Am series. The latest one, which came out last week, was I Am Princess Diana, Ordinary People Change the World. And there it is if you're watching the video. Tell me, this latest book with Princess Diana, why now and why Princess Diana?
Yeah, when we started this series, Chris Eliopoulos is our amazing artist on the series. He and I we wanted to give better heroes to our kids. And if I said to you, who would you give to your kids and your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, you pick the same people we picked. You pick Amelia Earhart, Abraham Lincoln, Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Jackie Robinson, Albert Einstein. They're pretty, our heroes, if you look at the list, people quickly, we overlap with the same thing. But eventually you run through the quote unquote popular ones. And then you got to say, okay, what I realized we started doing is I started saying, what do our kids actually need? What do I want for them? So I saw the divisions that we have in our country today. I mean, we're going at each other's throats. I was like, how do I teach my kids that it's better to, the power of actually coming together? And we're going to do We Are the Beatles. And we did the Beatles, right? I said, how do I teach my kids about mental health, which I saw so many kids, including my own, struggling with, especially after the pandemic. We did I'm Simone Biles. And, I eventually was like, I want to do a book on empathy. We started looking for heroes. I was like, I need to do a book on empathy. That is a very hard concept to teach. Someone who can put themselves in someone else's shoes and look through someone else's eyes. That's what empathy is, right? It's switching places with someone else and looking through their versions of events. And when we researched it, I was like, it's Princess Diana.
Yeah.
She's the one. And at first I was like, let me look into her life. And she was so much more impressive than I thought she was. And that's where the book came from, is us just saying we want to put empathy out there. And what's the best delivery device to give that to, and I love the fact that people use our books to build libraries for their kids and their grandkids, their nieces, their nephews, these homemade libraries of real heroes. I love that people give them to their schools and their churches, their synagogues. It's an amazing thing to us to, watch these real libraries get built by people.
Well, I told you before the show, and I'll tell my audience now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it here on the program, but my Uncle Bob is also a circuit court judge in the Green Bay area. He works with underprivileged youth, and he told me, I didn't know this. He didn't tell me this until today. I told him I was going to have you on the program, and he said, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Brad. I use his I Am series for his underprivileged youth. He uses those books when he needs to teach and set an example. He gives those books to his youth. So
yeah, I mean, it is pretty crazy. We watched, our I Am Jackie Robinson book. The Los Angeles Dodgers read it on Jackie Robinson Day. I watched Jackie Robinson's children read that book. We had Jane Goodall help us with I Am Jane Goodall. We had Dolly Parton help us with I Am Dolly Parton. Billie Jean King spent 2 hours on the phone with me going over every detail of her book to make sure it was right. And John Lewis helped us with our I Am Martin Luther King Jr. book. So it's just because he liked our Rosa Parks book. And I'm just like, I never thought that we would ever be in a position where, we're about to come up on our 40th book in the series. Princess Diana's number 38. We do in a couple months, we do I'm Teddy Roosevelt, which is number 39. And then we do the 40th book in the series, but I never thought I wanted to build a library. When I launched it, I said, I want to build this library of all these heroes, but to be able to see that library now exist on people's shelves, and I walk and have kids who come with stacks of them or send me pictures of these stacks that their families have been building with inspirational messages that the parents put in there for their kids, is one of those humbling moments. I mean, in fact, if I could turn the camera around, my desk is pretty neat, I think, but the only thing I keep is a stack that's about this high of letters from kids.
Yeah.
And these kids all over saying, I like Rosa Parks now. I like Jackie Robinson. I like Walt Disney now. And I like Mr. Rogers and Jim Henson. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Anne Frank. I mean, it's incredible. They dress them for Halloween. And gosh, it's like the greatest reward we get.
What would be the ultimate compliment to both you and Chris with this library that you're building? If you could think of one thing that to you would be the pinnacle that would absolutely tickle you both.
I don't, I feel like we've gotten it already in a strange, odd way, which is we reached the point, we just celebrated the 11th, I think we're on the 11th year of these books being around. And I've now met people, and they're young, but I've met them, but they say to me, I grew up on your books. And that's a crazy idea, right? Like I started these books when my kids were 8 and 5 years old. My daughter's about to graduate college, right? And obviously she grew up on them. I forced them down her throat, right? But to watch these other people, I get these letters that are so emotional. I got one that recently just said, like, your books helped us, taught me so much about the world. And I'm just like, what? Like, I just wrote them for my kids. And I knew one thing, Tim, I'm not that special.
No,
if I want this for my kids, then there are going to be lots of other parents and aunts and uncles who are going to want it for theirs. And we've been proven right. Like that's the best reward. It's just that it's kind of what your uncle, the judge, does, is like to watch someone think that of all the books I can pick, that I'm going to choose this to show a young person in my life what the best version of us can be. I don't think there's a better compliment. And to watch those kids take that book and they write me these letters in crayon and drawings and things like that just say, what they learned from Rosa Parks or dressed up like Rosa Parks, it's just incredible to me. Little girls that read I Am Neil Armstrong and tell me they want to be astronauts. Mm-hmm. An astronaut is like, I should say, that's crazy to me.
Well, I know there's something between your words, Chris's illustration, that connects immediately with children, and they see the story and they absorb it. But
let's talk about that for a moment, because Chris Eliopoulos is the secret weapon, right? There are, how many books have been written about Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Princess Diana, name anyone that we've written about. The reason why kids like our books is because of Chris Eliopoulos' amazing art. Mm-hmm. And Chris has an art style. You can see it if you're on the video, but if I'll describe it as it's like a cross between Charlie Brown meets Calvin and Hobbes.
Yes, yeah.
And we always draw our hero as a little kid. So you see Princess Diana, and she looks like she's 7 years old. Abraham Lincoln looks 7 years old. He's got a big top, big hat and a beard, but he's 7 years old. And the first reviews for it, and people would be like, why is Abraham Lincoln 7 years old when he becomes president? And I'm like, because of one reason and one reason only. I want kids to realize that these heroes were just like them.
Yeah.
Right. We do this thing in our world today where when we like someone, we build a statue, a monument of them, and we go worship at their feet. We turn them into these lowercase g gods. Mm-hmm. And we do them a huge disservice because we make it like they're perfect. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier, right? But anyone that we mentioned here today in this conversation, whether it's Rosa Parks, Dr. King, Amelia Earhart, Princess Di, Abraham Lincoln, all of them have moments where they were scared and they were terrified. They didn't think they could go on, but they do. And I think it's so much more important. Like in every book we do, we show you their failures, not just their success. So we show you the half a dozen elections that Abraham Lincoln lost. We show you with Princess Diana's marriage falling apart. We show you that Rosa Parks, that wasn't the first time she faced that bus driver. He actually kicked her off a bus earlier than that, but she didn't say anything that day. She knew exactly who he was and what he was going to do. And it's important that on that day she didn't have it, but then she found that strength. And again, that's not the flaw. That's the best part that they can go on from there. Because all of us have that moment. And if you don't teach your kids that, you're doing your kids a disservice. So I love the fact that we kind of embrace all those things and say, these people are, and I love the fact that kids can look at it with Chris's art and say, oh, they're just like me.
Yeah.
And that's why I think kids like the books, is Chris's art makes them realize that these people are just like them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. On a different topic, we'll switch here. But by the way, again, you can get the link to I Am Princess Diana right here in the description of the show. I encourage you guys to go get these books for your kids in your life, whether it be nieces, nephews, kids, grandkids, whoever in your life. Please go get the entire series because they're wonderful. Going to switch gears here, Brad. You have a wonderful show out there called Decoded. And the reason why I switched gears, you mentioned those lower G wannabe gods.
Yeah.
Article came out overnight about Bohemian Grove, which was the subject of one of your shows of Decoded. And the list, if you saw that episode, isn't shocking. I don't think.
No,
except
no,
for
not at all.
One name did shock me. Conan O'Brien.
That was the name. Of course. That was when I was like, is that right? Let me tell you the story about Bohemian Grove. So we investigated Bohemian Grove, and the moment we got by the way, when we went there with our Decoded show, 2 of our cast members got arrested, thrown in jail. I mean, there was no joke. I mean, the moment they crossed property lines, wherever it was in the thing, we didn't know where it was. They were driving up there. They arrested him, threw him in jail. And what you didn't see on the show was for hours, they wouldn't let him make a phone call. We didn't know what the hell happened to him. We were like, Buddy and McKinley were the ones who were arrested. Scott's a lawyer, so he was like, he was smart enough to be like, I'm not crossing that. And we were terrified for them. I was like, oh my goodness. But this is the craziest part, is once the show ran, I got a call from someone who said to me, you want to go in Bohemian Grove? I'm a member. I'll invite you in. And I was like, what are you talking about? Why are you telling me that now? I could have used you like 6 months ago when we were filming that thing. So, I mean, it was one of those things. And again, at that point, I was like, you almost don't want to be part of the club when someone will say you can, they'll let you inside. But yeah, listen, it's going to make for a great news cycle for a day, and everyone's going to find a name on there that they're like, what? It's kind of like, but trust me, my social media, my Instagram, all of it lit up like the moment that Bohemian Grove story ran, because everyone knows that we were one of the first people like to air that image of the owl. We had that footage that was in there. And the moment you tell me I can't get there, well, then all I want to do is go there.
Right.
But yeah, the thing I do want to know is, was Conan O'Brien a member, or did he come to entertain? Because they used to have obviously entertainment there too.
Yeah.
So we have to dig into that a little more.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Was he entertaining or was he a member?
I just like Conan O'Brien so much, so that's the thing, is like, it's so funny because you see like the name of like the quote unquote bad guys you don't like on there, you go like, yeah. And when you see someone like Conan O'Brien, you're like, well, maybe it's not a big deal because you like Conan. Right. Like, who doesn't like Conan? So,
right.
I honestly think the best thing that happened to Bohemian Grove when that story got released is that Conan O'Brien's name was on it because everyone loves him. So how bad, you don't feel like Conan's going to, what he's doing there is not gentleman to evil. You don't think that's what's coming.
Any other names on there that shocked you?
No, I knew most of the names that were on there. I did know that. The names haven't changed for so many years. In fact, if you look at the list, a lot of those names, again, the older guys that are on there, Supreme Court Justice, we listed them, 15 years ago. Like, that was not news to us. Yeah. But yeah, the younger guys are obviously the new ones.
Yeah. When that story came out, I thought of you immediately, and I thought, wow, I was interested in your take on it because for it to come out so mainstream, and especially in the times that we're in right now, I thought, I wonder if these guys feel exposed or if they're just like, nah, no big deal.
I think at the end of the day, the reason why Bohemian Grove is still of interest, And like, do I think that like people are sitting around trying to take over the world in some like there are people that are doing bad things in this world. There are people doing good things in this world. What I don't like is when you ask a secret group, hey, tell us what's going on there. Why don't you have women in there? No, I'm not telling you that. Like, why don't you have this in there? Why don't, if you're doing all this quote unquote secret stuff to influence, like, just be a little bit more open about it and then we'll leave you alone. But if you want to keep your secrets, then we're going to keep.
It seems that, well, they have, Bohemian Grove has that in common with, like, say, the Masons and others. It seems like if it's a closed group, it seems to be
right. But you can go to Freemason headquarters, Scottish Rite headquarters in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. You can go there on 16th Street, walk straight up from the White House. You can go on a public tour anytime you want.
Sure.
Sure, happily show you around. So we used to throw those names together, right? Here's the Masons, and here's Bohemian Grove, and but most of those secret organizations, if you knock and ask nicely, they'll show you around.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and that's why everyone stopped caring about the Masons, because they were like, oh, these older guys, and they're nice people.
Yeah.
I mean, like Masons come to me and say, thank you for being one of the few people that doesn't like attack us and say, we're trying to steal everyone's baby. Mm-hmm. Like, it is interesting. Like 8 signers of the Declaration of Independence were Masons, 9 signers of the U.S. Constitution. How many? Almost a dozen U.S. presidents. Like, that's pretty cool detail. I want to know what's going on in that secret club. And you ask them and they tell you. Bohemian Grove is like, we're not telling you crap. Well, guess what? We're going to keep trying to dig, which is why you see this list come out.
Yeah, most definitely. Is there a chance, or would there ever be a chance that Decoded would come back in either as a reimagining or a different form?
The honest truth is if you want it back, write to the History Channel and tell them you want it back. Go on your social media, write @History, which is what they are, and say, hey, we want Dakota back. Like, hey, @History, please bring Dakota back. If you want it, people will bring it back. If you don't, then you won't. That's how anything happens. So we love doing that show. The honest truth is I still do that show. I just do it in book form.
Yeah.
We did the first conspiracy about a secret plot to kill George Washington at the start of the Revolutionary War. I was like, that's a Decoded episode. But when Decoded went off the air, I was like, I'm still telling that story. So I did it as a book. Then we did the Lincoln conspiracy about a secret plot that was true to kill Abraham Lincoln. We did the Nazi conspiracy about a secret plot to kill Stalin and Churchill and FDR at the height of World War II. And then we just did the JFK conspiracy about a secret plot to kill JFK 3 years before Lee Harvey Oswald. I love doing those books. I still do Decoded. I just do it in book form. And anyone who likes Decoded, they've been along for the ride with us. You're going to love those books. Like, try the Nazi conspiracy. It's going to knock you out of your socks. Or the first conspiracy. Those books are, Josh mentioned I work on them together, and he was the one who worked with me. He was a showrunner on our History Channel show. We worked on them together, and we just said, fine, if we can't do them there, we're still telling these stories, because these stories are worth telling. There are great secrets from history that no one knows. And I love the fact that we have an entire book series of, with 50 pages of footnotes that show you what really happened.
Actually, if you'd like, I'd love to have you back and talk about some of those books.
Yeah, we should do when the next one. We should do is when the next one comes out. We should do it for sure. Those are fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Finally, because I know we're a little shy on time, you've been tapped by Marvel to do the new version of Superman versus Spider-Man. Tell me how this came about.
This was nerd dreams come true. I got a call, and Nick Lowe from Marvel calls me, and he's like, "Hey, I want to pitch you a project." And I get pitched, DC and Marvel are very kind, and I still be in touch with them almost, can't tell you how many times where they're like, hey, interested in this, we're doing this, we want to try this, and we got this character, we're relaunching this. And the truth is, I'm just busy. We do our kids' books, and we do our conspiracy books, and then we do the thrillers. Like, it's a lot of stuff, and we do our kids' books on a TV show on PBS right now, on PBS Kids. And I said to him, literally before he said anything, I said, whatever you're going to tell me, I don't have the time to do it. I'm just really booked up, and we have the Viper coming out, and I got the tour, and I got all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And he said, it's Spider-Man, Superman. You want to do it? And I was just like, oh boy. Oh, what do you say? There's nothing to say, but yes, please. Thank you. Like, let's go. And it is, in fact, right now I'm going to check. We're still, it's so much fun. I don't think there's anything I've been more excited for the world to see than this story. And I remember when they offered it to me, I couldn't work on anything until I cracked it because I was so determined I waited my whole life to write this story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll see it April 15th. It'll be out. And it's Spider-Man and Superman. So there's a DC version that comes out 2 weeks before. That's Superman, Spider-Man. Ours is the Marvel version, which is Spider-Man, Superman. Pepe Larraz is the artist. And it's something, man. Get your web shooters and your capes ready.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. All right, folks. Again, if I got to tell you, 100 out of 5 stars. The Viper is amazing. You got to go get this book. We have a link in the description of this program. The Viper, a fast-paced thriller, family bonds and deadly conspiracies. Escape Artist, Book 3. I have never been on the edge of my seat reading a book.
And by the way, you can read The Viper if you've never read anything else. You can pick it up and read it cold. And we have plenty of people who do, and that's the fun of it. So you can start with The Viper.
That's right. You don't have to have read Escape Artist Book 1 and 2. You can jump right into this. Brad does a wonderful job of putting you right in the middle of the action, and you can pick it up, and it's so wonderful. So wonderful. Also, for your kids, go pick up I Am Princess Diana, Ordinary People Change the World. Go get the entire series, folks, for your kids. Not only is the lessons there, but both Brad and Chris do an amazing job of not only setting the lessons there, but they're entertaining books as well for your children. The latest, I Am Princess Diana, Ordinary People Change the World, is available right now. We have links to both in the description of this program. Brad Meltzer, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, brother. Good to see you, Tim.
Thank you. Good to see you as well. Folks, it's time now for us to change gears. It's time now for us to join Jessica Freeberg, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. With that, I need my co-hostess, my trusty co-hostess. Yes, my one, my only. I got to tell you this much. It's much like being in a good mob and having a good hitman or hit mistress, if you will. In fact, she has the entire Hindustan Times shaking. In fact, I just got off the phone with Binder. Binder is in fear for his life, his very life, because he's buried under ink and paper trying to come up with as many charts to keep her at number one. We do call her the Slayer of Charts. What is it? The Slayer of Charts. And I don't remember what all her titles are. Her publisher says, of course, she is her number one hit mistress, if you will. In fact, they tried to sign her 57 books for this year. She said, no, I can only take 3. And they said, no, you've got to have 57, 58 topics at hand. And she said, I don't have that much time on my hands. But if I did, I probably would take them all. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeberg. Hi, Jess.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Boy, is it a Tuesday. Huge Tuesday on the show here. Not only you, which it's always a big Tuesday when we have you, but we have Brad Meltzer on the program. So by God.
I know. Amazing.
What a Tuesday.
It's a good one.
It's a great one. It's a great one. It's one of the biggest Tuesdays, I think, in the history of True Crime Tuesday. So we'll just put it that way. I'm not much for hyperbole, but it's a pretty big Tuesday.
It's a big Tuesday. Feels good.
Yeah. Big Tuesday. We'll just jump right into it. You know who else had a big Tuesday or a big week last week?
Who?
She's back. You remember the lady who snuck onto the airline?
Yes.
She did it again.
Wow. Oops. She did it again.
Yeah, good one. Yeah. Do you remember the name Svetlana Dali?
Do I ever?
Yeah.
How does she do it? I feel like I can't even get through TSA when I'm supposed to.
Right? I mean, they've. I think I remember like a week or two ago something about they relaxed certain things in TSA so that you could, for seniors, I think it was, so that you could get through TSA easier, like slip-on shoes and things like that. Like you don't have to necessarily remove your shoes if you're of a certain age or infirmity now. I'm trying to get that.
I don't think anyone does with your shoes anymore.
Really?
They took that away like not that long ago. So it's pretty new, but it felt weird because I was like, don't I need to go barefoot and be grossed out by the nasty floor?
Right, because I remember, because when I go through TSA, I go through with assistance. So, and when I had the real bad problem with the Charcot foot and I was on a knee caddy, I would go through in a wheelchair and they'd take my knee caddy and they would do things where like I'd have to go through the 3rd degree because they'd take me out of I couldn't go through the scanners like you guys. So they would do the pat down and they would have to go through my brace and everything. And so it would take me 3 times as long to go through TSA. So I don't know how this woman just goes right through, right?
I know, it's crazy.
But I'll tell you how she does it. And it's simpler than you may think. It's very simple. Now, stowaway Svetlana Dali successfully snuck onto a plane to Europe yet again last week. And it's almost maddening how she does it, Jess. This woman previously was convicted of sidestepping security and airline agents to board a flight to Paris without a ticket, and she was detained in Milan, Italy for again stowing away. Svetlana Dali snuck by the airline employees at gate C-74 at Newark Liberty International Airport and onto United Flight 19 last Wednesday night, according to a law enforcement source. The Boeing 777-200, which seats 364 passengers, departed Newark at 5:51 p.m. Eastern Time, according to FlightAware. Sometime during the more than 7-hour flight, airline staff on the plane discovered Dali was on board without a ticket. This absolutely boggles my mind. When the plane landed in Milan at 7:09 a.m. Thursday, she was detained by law enforcement. Safety and security are our highest priorities, according to United Airlines. Again, it's United that she decided to do this too. We are investigating the incident and working with the appropriate authorities. Now, the FBI in Newark told CNN that they are aware of the alleged stowaway. They were working with Port Authority and TSA on the open investigation, according to the FBI spokesperson Emily Molinari in a statement. CNN reached out to the TSA for more information. Now, according to the story, the way she did it was the exact same way she did it last time. What she does is she goes up to TSA, and as passengers are checking their luggage in the bins, she just simply slips right by them. She just and goes right up the ramp. And the way she kind of does it is she has this little flex card that she has around her neck, like a laminate that has nothing in it, but makes it look like she has an airline employee pass.
Oh my goodness, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And she just slips right by and goes up the ramp. And she's
like, the trick is just to look like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And they don't question it. They're so overwhelmed at these checkpoints that they don't care.
Yeah.
Now, security video released after her arrest showed Dali bypassing an airport employee in charge of a crew member's security checkpoint and walking airline staff past the station where her ID and boarding pass would have been checked. At that point, she was scanned and received a pat-down while her possessions were screened. At the gate, with a gray hoodie pulled over her head, Dali placed herself in the middle of what appeared to be a family traveling together and made it past the gate agent without being noticed.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Once on board the plane, she spent some time apparently hiding in the bathroom to remain out of the crew sight, but was eventually discovered. So she stowed away in the bathroom for a bit so that she could get past the takeoff. But then eventually, when she didn't have a seat, they had to figure out what to do with her. But by that point, you're in the air. They're not going to turn around.
Yeah, and it feels like lately all the flights are full. So, you're probably not going to find an empty seat.
Right. So you put her in one of the crew seats or in the back in the galley, and you just wait until you get to the point of destination, and then you arrest her, right?
That's crazy to me.
Yep. She was detained in Paris after arriving there. Dali was returned to the U.S. and appeared in a federal court in Brooklyn, where her court-appointed lawyer argued for her release at that point. They say, we do not believe she's a serious risk of flight. But she jumps on a flight whenever she wants.
Which is hilarious.
Right. She's going to go wherever she wants.
Do you think she has a plan when she goes, or is she just like, I'm going to get through and just like see where planes are going today, and then I'm just going to hop on one? I mean, what a free life.
Well, the last time she was there for a week. The last time she went to Paris.
Yeah.
And then she just jumped on a flight and came home. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think she just thinks I'm just going to hop on a plane. I'm going to go to wherever I'm going to go. I'm going to hang out and then I'll do it again. Because what are they going to do?
And no itinerary, no plan. I mean, when I travel, I get so stressed. I have, my list of things that we need to take. I have my list of things we're going to do when we get there. Like it's a whole spreadsheet. She's just like such a free spirit. She's just like,
yeah,
just gonna
go and live life.
Walk through the airport.
Yeah, just gonna go live life. They just owe me Some people are like that though. Some people they owe me the flight. They should just take me. Don't they know who I am?
It just cracks me up. She can get through like that. I mean, meanwhile, we're over there like having the stuffed animal my daughter brought patted down to make sure it's not full of drugs, and like. Yeah. I'm having all this anxiety because I usually have an apple knife accidentally stuck in my backpack. And they're like, ma'am, is there some reason you're taking a knife on the plane? And I'm always laugh, ha ha, funny. And then they're like, no, really. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I lost another apple cutting knife.
Yep, terrorists. Terrorists may need an apple.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't like to eat my apples like an animal, and I forget that it's in there.
Yeah. But,
wild.
Yeah. It takes all kinds, I guess, right? But
I feel like she's going to come up again. She's not done.
No, this isn't her last time by far. No. And see, it's people like, I shouldn't say it's people like that, but it's personalities like that. That's what I meant to say. That when they do it the first time, you do need to give them a hard slap on the wrist so that they know you can't do this again. This is not something that you think you can get away with. And, this isn't a ha-ha moment. We take this seriously because there's the criminal element, the true criminal element. I mean, this may be a personal defect of her, but the criminal element will see this and go, okay, we know how we can do this now.
Right. And she looks so normal. She just looks like your normal, average.
Oh, yeah, she is completely.
Lady.
She completely a normal middle-aged lady. Yeah, just jumping on a plane and going. Yeah, and that's why she got away with it so clean.
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of normal, well, no, not normal. He's a Florida man, but just a normal guy trying to get away with a little trading card theft. Trading cards have been a huge thing for decades now.
Yeah, it can be worth a lot of money.
It's big business. One Florida man is accused of stealing $10,000 in trading cards from Target and Walmart. And here's how he did it. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
He used taco seasoning packets.
What?
In the process of his thefts.
Oh.
Yeah.
How?
I'll tell you. It's very interesting. The suspect is suspected of 75 thefts across Florida, then reselling the stolen cards on eBay. It's a little brilliant. We're going to Washington, where a man is accused of stealing trading cards worth thousands of dollars from Florida Target and Walmart stores in a scheme that involved taco seasoning packets, according to authorities. 39-year-old Keith Wallace of Palm Beach faces charges of felony organized retail theft, felony dealing in stolen property, and felony money laundering, according to the Office of Florida Attorney General James Fechmeier. Wallace would take large boxes of trading cards and equal numbers of 99-cent taco seasoning packets to the self-checkout and would pay only for the seasoning packets, Fechmeier's office said in a news release.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The suspect is accused of selling the trading cards on eBay. Investigators made controlled purchases of the cards and confirmed the proceeds were deposited into Wallace's personal bank account, according to the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. Wallace is accused of committing 75 thefts across Florida, spanning from Orlando to Miami, Between July of 2025 and February of 2026, the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office said about 39 of those thefts were at Target stores. The thefts resulted in retail losses of more than $10,000. Wallace got nearly $40,000 in revenue, $40,000 in revenue from the resale of those cards. So $10,000 worth of cards, $40,000 that he flipped, according to the Attorney General's office.
What a business plan.
All right. Wallace is also suspected of theft at Publix locations. According to the release, if he is found guilty on all charges, he faces up to 90 years in prison.
Holy cow.
Not worth the $40,000.
No, that seems a little extreme. People kill people and get away with less time.
That's right. Florida has the #1 economy in the nation because of our commitment to law and order, Fechmeier said in his release. Organized retail theft drives up prices for consumers, and that is not a result we are going to tolerate. These schemes will be met with the maximum punishment allowed under law. 40 grand off of 10 grand in cards.
90 years in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting more than a slap on the wrist for that deal.
Yeah, that's quite a side hustle, though. Quite an entrepreneur.
Yeah, quite an entrepreneur. Our next story comes from one of our listeners. By the way, if you have a story for us for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, you can send it in to me at tim@darknessradio. I think this one comes from Jeff. So thank you, Jeff, for this one. I'm not sure if this man got prosecuted for this, but it is a darn funny one. A man sets his home on fire, by the way, after using a blowtorch to kill spiders.
Ooh.
Some of us have a little arachnophobia. Some of us take it to this level. Level 10.
I do not like spiders. I can see myself doing this.
Really? Lighten up the old blowtorch to get rid of a spider?
Well, they do creep me out real bad.
Really?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't know why. Getting better. I'm trying to overcome all my fears in this lifetime, but spiders, it's like irrational. Like even after I kill it, first of all, killing it, I think, oh, when I go to smash it, it's going to know my intention. It's going to jump on my face and eat me. So then I'm afraid to smash it. And then after I do smash it, I'm afraid to step over the spot where it was killed or even walk by it if it's on the wall or something, because I'm like, the memory.
You don't believe in the old wives' tale where if you smash a spider, you'll have a rainy day?
No, I don't think I've heard that one.
No? Okay. I always keep that in mind. I talk to him when I see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like certain spiders. It's weird. I have a prejudice against spiders, which is not fair, but I love a good house spider, daddy long leg. Like, they don't bother me one bit. But when they're black, I have a jumping spider in my guest room window, and I've named him, and I talk to him, and I tell my guests, I hope you're not afraid of spiders because I can't bring myself to kill him. He's so cute. But those big, hairy, black ones. Ugh.
Yep. Yep. Well, this man set his home on fire after using a blowtorch to kill spiders. Evidently, he had no tolerance whatsoever and went the opposite direction. A man who was house sitting for his parents set their home on fire. It wasn't even his house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. When he used a blowtorch to kill spiders, according to authorities, firefighters responded to a 911 call about a fire on Tuesday night at a home in Fresno, California. The tenant of a 2-story residential house just made a bad decision to use fire instead of insecticides to kill the spiders, according to
Or fly swatter.
Or fly swatter, yeah. Or a newspaper or rolled up magazine. Lee Wilding, deputy fire marshal with the Fresno Fire Department, told ABC News the tenant used a torch like a handheld propane torch to kill the spiders that were around the base of the residential structure. And in doing so, some flame from the torch went in between some of the cracks in the siding and into the interior of the wall. Wilding said, that's a bad idea. It started a small fire within the wall and then traveled up into the attic through the wall space and into the attic to cause a larger fire.
So wait, was he killing the spider outside? He got it into the siding.
Yeah, what happened was it must have been like in a crack in a corner. He shot the flame up into the corner. It got up into the corner and it went into the interior of the house, which then got up into the siding and caused an interior
And
fire.
who just has a blowtorch handy? Like you see a spider and you're like, oh, the blowtorch is right here. I'm just going to use that.
He had to go looking for it. He must have known where it was in his parents' house. And he just went, I'll kill this thing with fire. Bad idea. Yeah. More than 25 firefighters and 2 trucks were sent to the scene, according to Wilding, and it took about 5 minutes to put the fire out. The fire destroyed part of the house, but the man who started the fire was not hurt. He's going to wish he was when his parents get home. I know that much.
His mom's going to be pissed.
Oh, I bet. He was still outside when the smoke became visible, Wilding said. You know, if I start my parents' house on fire, I'm going to get the hose and I'm trying to put it out myself. I'm not waiting for firefighters. I know that much. The occupant was cooperative and did give a full statement as to his action at the time that the fire was ignited. Fresno Fire Battalion Chief Tony Escobedo told ABC News Fresno affiliate KFSN TV that the man could have used insect repellent to get rid of the spiders rather than a blowtorch. We don't ever recommend using some type of heating device like that to get rid of any vermin or spiders, Escobedo told the news station. This probably was a bad idea. Yes. You know, They really should have rung him up on some sort of charge, I guess, but, you know, intentionally setting a fire. But
he's going to be punished.
Yeah. I'm sure the insurance company isn't going to pay for it. I know that much. But it's a bad deal all the way around. I got to imagine somewhere the spider got away and he's flipping up a middle finger at the guy, right, as the house is burning. I just imagine that happened.
No spiders were hurt in the making of this fire.
Right. Good disclaimer, Jess. Right. I'm going to show you a picture of a guy. I'm going to try and I'll zoom it in. I know your sans glasses today, but here's the guy.
All right.
Now, if I had to get you to guess in a crime here, what do you think this guy's guilty of?
Gosh, he looks so clean cut. He looks like he's just coming from the golf course.
Kind of, right?
Yeah. Did he steal a golf cart?
You would think, right? You would think that it's probably stealing a golf cart or maybe having one too many at the golf course. That's a good guess, Jess. Good guess. Well, I'll tell you this much. This 29-year-old well-cut man actually committed a bit of a faux pas at the McDonald's.
Oh.
Yes. He's been jailed for a felony frappe attack.
Oh, he attacked someone with a frappe?
Yes.
That's not what those are for.
It's a good waste of coffee, isn't it? An ex-con is back on ice after he struck a McDonald's drive-thru worker in the face with a thrown frozen coffee beverage, according to court records.
Goodness.
Yeah. The frappe rap against 29-year-old Daniel Abramowitz is classified as a felony since the Florida man's rap sheet, yes, we're back in Florida, includes a prior domestic battery conviction for punching his girlfriend. He's not that nice.
Oh, no.
Yes. The girlfriend's also the mother of his child in the face.
Oh, my goodness.
Pew, pew. Yes, he's not a very nice guy. He looks like he might be a nice boy, but
he does. Yeah. He just looks like a clean cut kind of.
He does.
But, meet me on the golf course for the 9 holes kind of guy.
Yeah, but he's more a catch me. He's
beating women and.
Yeah, he's more a catch me outside. How about that type guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Police arrested Abramowitz in connection with the January 31st incident at a McDonald's in Seminole last week. Investigators allege that Abramowitz was behind the wheel of a vehicle in the drive-thru lane at around 1 a.m. when he engaged in a brief discussion with the fast food worker. He then threw a blended frozen coffee beverage, otherwise known as the McDonald's frappe, at the victim. The drink struck the 28-year-old victim in the facial region, causing the beverage container to break open upon impact. The contents landed on the victim's facial region, hair, and jacket, as the police report is stated. The battery, cops noted, was recorded by a surveillance camera, and the victim identified as Abramowitz as the assailant. In addition to the battery count, Abramowitz has been charged with violating the terms of a 3-year probation sentence levied following his 2023 felony conviction for stealing and pawning a watch. Boy, this guy is into trouble, isn't he?
Wild. You just can't tell. Like from looking at someone, this is such a good example of like, you don't know what's inside someone's soul when you look at the outside. Like I have a cousin who is the kindest, sweetest, most gentle person in the world, but he has a face full of tattoos.
Yeah, there you go. See?
and he drives a Harley, and he just looks like a guy like you would not want to mess with him.
Right.
He wants puppies, and he'll give you the shirt right off his back. And then you got this kid who looks so clean and nice, and he's going to steal the watch off your wrist and punch you in the face.
That's right. He's the devil. Yeah. Speaking of, he's a New Jersey native, so he is the devil.
Jersey's coming out. That's what it is.
Abramowitz's criminal history includes other convictions for obstruction, probation violation, and burglary. He's also served separate 3 and 6 month sentences in county jail, so he's not the nice boy he looks like.
Nope.
We have another story here, Jess, about a wannabe deputy that's tripped up by a polygraph, and he comes from your home state.
Oh, good old Iowa farm boy.
That's right. The 35-year-old Iowan, according to cops, admitted to child porn perusal. Maybe I should have moved this one to not safe for work.
I don't claim him.
Yeah, you shouldn't. While applying for a job as a sheriff's deputy, Gregory Saxton played a crucial role in the subsequent filing of, maybe I should have moved this one to not safe for work.
Oh, no.
He played a crucial role in the subsequent filing of felony child porn charges against a 35-year-old Iowa man. That criminal defendant was Gregory Saxton. According to police, Saxton recently submitted a pre-employment polygraph examination in connection with his bid to be hired as a deputy with the Warren County Sheriff's Office. At the outset of the polygraph, Saxton was asked a series of questions regarding personal and property crimes. A search warrant application states, upon completion of Test A, it was very apparent that Greg did not pass, reported Detective Jason Sadler, who conducted the exam. During a discussion with the polygrapher, Saxton sought clarification about a question he had been asked. Is dark web and deep web the same thing? Whoops. What followed, police say, was Saxton's admission that he had browsed pornography on the dark web. After initially claiming it was normal stuff, Saxton reportedly said he ran into other things and eventually searched for illicit images of teenagers. Saxton estimated doing this less than 10 times. Oh, yeah.
One time too many, or 10 times too many, I should say.
Yeah, 10 times too many. Based on Saxton's reported admissions, investigators searched his cell phones, which were then found to contain child porn.
Oh,
yeah. So
it's the lowest of the low
crimes.
I mean, just yuck.
Why are you even going for a law enforcement job then?
Isn't there like an island out there somewhere that we could just put them on? I think Epstein used to be there.
Yeah, I think
just
so, yeah.
Put them all there.
Right. Saxton was arrested last Thursday and charged in a 13-count felony complaint with possessing images depicting minors engaged in activity. Saxton, who was freed from custody after posting $65,000 cash bond, is scheduled. Wow, he had that much laying around. Is scheduled for a March 3rd preliminary hearing. By the way, he did not get the job, in case you were wondering. I know a lot of people are like, did he get the job?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, he didn't get the job. All right, we've got a couple of food stories coming up, and then we've got Not Safe for Work. We go to Florida, where a man states, I am a prophet.
No.
But he wasn't that big of a prophet because he believes that a Chinese restaurant was going to give everybody COVID.
No.
Yeah.
I just wanted some crab rangoons.
Oh, that sounds so good right now. I'm a little hungry, I'm not going to lie. 43-year-old Richard Jarvis faces charges of assault and battery, and he was caught destroying a Chinese restaurant to try and stop COVID. This, by the way, is what a genius looks like when he tries to break up a Chinese restaurant.
See, he looks like a little bit like a troublemaker.
He does look like a troublemaker, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little slow on the uptake. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We go to Orange County, Florida, where an Orlando man was arrested last Monday after a bizarre attack on a Chinese restaurant, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. In an arrest affidavit, deputies said they responded to Pearl's Chinese restaurant along Central Florida Parkway last Monday afternoon after a 911 caller reported the attack. Upon arrival, they learned that the man, identified as 43-year-old Richard Jarvis, had come to the restaurant and threatened to kill everyone inside before entering through the front door. So he gave everybody a warning. From there, deputies explained that Jarvis made his way into the kitchen, tossing and destroying over $4,000 worth of food and cooking instruments. The owner tried to run away, but Jarvis struck him in the back with a shovel, telling the owner,
Oh my God.
Yeah, telling the owner, if you run away, I'll kill you. Oh, so if he stays, you'll be nicer? That's not good logic.
Yeah, this is not good odds for this poor gentleman.
Right. Deputies said they soon found Jarvis in the kitchen, armed with a shovel and shouting that he had to destroy the food because all the Chinese were poisoning the food. Sound logic.
It's a little cracked.
Yeah, sound logic. I think, I think this guy, it's a 10 out of 10 for logic. That's for sure. And then now my iPad is so shocked it doesn't want to move. I didn't mean to yell at you, poor iPad.
I'm just shocked he's so up in arms about COVID now. He's 6 years late. 6 years too late.
Right. I mean,
Right?
Yeah, he pretty much,
Brother, we survived.
Yeah, well,
it's over. It's just a cold.
They give you Paxlovid for that. I don't know if he knows that, but they have medication.
Yeah, they have medicine now.
Right.
And you probably have a little immunity. You'll be okay.
Yeah, he might be okay. I mean, you might be able to treat that stuff. I mean, he might be fine. I mean, there's things you can do for that, Jess. I mean, yeah.
There's treatments now.
Wash your hands. That's one thing. I mean, wash your hands if you know of some people that have it. I mean, it's still going around. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's not as potent either as it used to be.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the reason it was so bad is because it was a novel virus. Our bodies had never experienced it before. But this is 6 years later. It's like he just came out of a time machine or something. He thinks he's in 2020.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I doubt you get it from Chinese food, because if so, I would have it every other week.
Same.
Yeah. And boy, I know some delicious Chinese spots, by the way, too. And
I do love Chinese. That's my favorite.
I would hate to boycott those spots. I really would. I would name them here on air, but they don't advertise.
I love all the food, though. I love food. I kind of like to lose a little weight, not a lot of weight, just a little weight, but I can't because I'm just oh my God, food. It's so delicious.
Well, okay, I'll name one of them. Yangtze Restaurant over in St. Louis Park. Now, are they good? But I hadn't been to Yangtze for a couple of months, right? But the minute I came through the door, the owner goes, "Oh," but he has this very low, very rich baritone. "It's been a long time. Haven't seen you in a long time." Right?
Oh,
and he's such a nice guy. Yeah. I mean, he knows me just by my face, right? Because back when we worked over at iHeartRadio, he'd see me once or twice a week. I'd go over for lunch. Oh, yeah. Right?
That was a go-to.
Yeah. So, but I would go over and I would eat with the employees. Little secret to you guys, they don't eat what we eat. So I would ask for what the employees ate, which was a simple bowl of vegetables and chicken. Right? So they would make this simple bowl of vegetables and chicken. So I would get that for lunch. And it was lightly seasoned. I don't know what the seasoning was, but it was delicious. So I'd ask for the employee special. I'd go in and get the employee special, and he'd charge me a special price for it. And he'd laugh and he'd go, "No one's supposed to know about that." He'd go, "But
well, they know now."
He'd say, I'll give to you, but no one's supposed to know about that, right? But I'd go over and if I'd go over a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week, he'd give it to me every day. So yeah. But then when I go for dinner, I'd order up the menu. But yeah, if I go over for lunch, I get the employee special. So it was they treated me really well over there. They treated me like family. So
they need to make you clean the bathrooms for that.
Right. They should have. Yeah. They should have made me do some work for that. Right?
Do the dishes.
Right. But it was so good. I crave that sometimes because it was so healthy. It was so.
I just love Chinese food. To me, it's just fresh. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you can hate on it and try to eat people inside with a shovel. That's crazy.
I don't know. Eventually, with this story, deputies managed to de-escalate the situation, took Jarvis into custody with this. According to investigators, Jarvis said while being transported, "I had to destroy that restaurant. All Chinese restaurants are going to release a new strain of COVID on July 6th.
Oh,
This guy is so out of it.
bless his little broken heart. He's a mess.
He says, "I'm a prophet. I'm trying to save everyone." That's what it is. Medication will take care of that. Now, Jarvis faces charges of assault, aggravated battery with a weapon, burglary, and criminal mischief. He's being held without bond, as he should be. So that's the name of that tune right there. But
A little therapy and a little medication goes a long way.
it does, yeah. It really does. All right. This food story, and then we go to not safe for work for the next one because it's got a little extra twist to it, literally. This next one, okay, I'm going to show you this picture of this woman. I'll tell you this much. I would do anything with her pickle, including tickle her pickle any day. I'll just put that as a.
She is a hottie.
I'll throw that disclaimer in here right now. Her boyfriend, by the way, absolutely nuts. I'll just tell you that. This woman that I just showed you, Jess, was charged with felony pickle assault.
Oh, really? Getting him with a pickle.
Or a jar of pickles.
Oh,
This guy, by the way, absolutely crazy. When officers arrived on the scene, there were pickles and pickle juice scattered across the apartment. All right, that's the I'm setting the scene here.
Domestic violence by pickle jar.
That's right. And Kaylin Blaine's boyfriend and cohabitant had a knot on the top of his head where she allegedly had clobbered him with a glass jar of the briny delicacy.
Wow, I feel like you could actually kill someone with a jar of pickles.
Oh,
they're heavy.
You can. Have you ever seen a jar of the Milwaukee pickles? They're like this big.
They're huge.
Right. You could kill a guy with those.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. According to police, the 32-year-old Blaine and 34-year-old victim argued on Monday morning about the cleanliness of their Clearwater, Florida apartment. Yes, we're going to Clearwater, Florida. I'm shocked it's in Florida. Blaine and the man have dated for 6 years and are parents of a 2-year-old girl. After being accused of making the mess, Blaine reportedly got agitated. This is, first of all, guys, that's your first mistake. Never look at a lovely woman and go, "Did you make that mess?" You done screwed up right there.
That's right. Never criticize a woman's housekeeping skills.
That's your first mistake. Blaine reportedly got agitated and grabbed the jar of pickles, picked it right up, from which she had been noshing around 10 a.m. You might be guilty of having a second bun in the oven here, buddy. So that was probably your second mistake. Blaine then allegedly struck the victim in the head with the jar, resulting in the pickle splatter observed by police. She's quick-tempered.
Yeah. Well, anger management issues in this episode, Tim.
That's right. Blaine, who declined to speak to cops, was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a felony, and booked into the county jail. The pickle jar weapon was not seized by police, probably because they weren't hungry at 10 a.m., especially for pickles. Blaine was released from custody on her own recognizance that night, and a judge had ordered her to have no contact with the victim. Blaine, in the company of law enforcement, will be allowed a one-time visit to the home that she shared with the victim for the retrieval of her personal belongings. I don't know why she has to move out. He's the one who criticized the housekeeping, which presumably could include the pickles in question.
What about the kid? I think the kid was home. That's so sad. Can you imagine? They're just sitting there watching their Bluey.
Right. Yeah.
All of a sudden, your mom attacks your dad with a pickle jar.
Yeah.
You never look at pickles the same again.
Right. Yeah. You just see pickles all over the floor and you start bawling as a kid.
Yeah.
Because you're like, pickles killed my mom and dad's marriage.
Yeah. For the rest of your life, you see a pickle jar and you have that, a little flashback.
Yeah. You just
core trauma.
Just see mommy attacking daddy. Yeah. It's just horrible. All right, it's time now for Not Safe for Work. With the Not Safe for Work, you want to take your kids and hide them away from any pickles or anything having to do with this segment. If you're listening around the boss, you probably want to take a pickle and shove it where the sun don't shine, because the boss is probably not that great to either. But you want to probably keep them away from this segment as well. And we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're continuing on the food and restaurant theme, as this Pittsburgh man has been charged after an alleged indecent exposure at a West Mifflin restaurant. More specifically, the local Denny's.
Oh.
Where it was just a little more than moons over Miami, if you know what I mean. I've been waiting all
I'd like
day.
a little hollandaise sauce with that. Thank you.
See, you one up my joke. I was waiting all day for that joke. And
Oh, shoot.
you just one upped it. That's okay. That's fine. A Pittsburgh man is facing a list of charges after he allegedly exposed himself inside a West Mifflin restaurant, and restaurant managers told police it's not the first time the suspect acted inappropriately in front of customers. He's a bit of a showman, Jess. In other words,
I mean,
you know, you get dinner and a show with this guy.
it's a dinner theater, Denny's.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of sausage on the menu, if you know what I mean. Oh, boy. According to the criminal complaint, West Mifflin police alleged that Zachary Ryan Hiles acted inappropriately in view of bystanders. Court records say Hiles, an employee of the West Mifflin Denny's, was allegedly leering at a group of women in the restaurant, and according to what a witness told police, Hiles then began to pull his genitals from his pants and begin to touch himself.
No.
Like you said, would you like a little hollandaise sauce with your eggs, ladies? And not in the way you're thinking.
No, thank you.
Christopher Cornetta says he dines at the location frequently and says every time he's been there, it's been a good experience. Until now.
Or he just likes that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, he could. That's a strange taste of the mayonnaise today. Yet I've dined here, he said. I really enjoy the business they have, the crowd they bring in, and they're very nice to me, he said. Police say the incident occurred late Sunday afternoon. One of the alleged victims ran from the restaurant and got in her car. The victim told police it was a traumatic experience. I don't mean to laugh.
Gosh.
According to the criminal complaint, Hiles was told by his manager that he needed to leave for the night. I bet he did.
Just for the night, though. You can come back and do your shift tomorrow.
Right, yeah. I need a brief break to, relieve some pressure.
I feel like that would be like you could fire him after one time.
I think so. The manager, according to court records, told investigators that this was not the first time Hiles had made inappropriate comments or actions. Restaurant management said Hiles' employment has been terminated. It took you that long?
Oh, man.
Something has to be done ASAP, and if they don't take care of it here, he's going to do it at other restaurants, Cornetta said. Hiles is awaiting arraignment on multiple charges, including indecent exposure and harassment. There should be something kind of marked on his file, maybe not eligible to work with the public.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a nice telemarketing job. Maybe filing papers.
Yeah.
Something.
Really anything that he does, assembly line somewhere.
Yeah. Our next story, Jess, is a little sensitive in nature, but it makes you think when it comes to inventors, what really goes through their minds. Have you heard this story, by the way?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Not based on your intro so far.
This is the most odd story of the week. When back in the days when I was doing radio and you would get these ads that would come over and they're called PI ads or per inquiry ads.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's a product that's put out there and you get paid, they get paid, or you get paid basically as a radio station per ad and whatever inquiries they get to their 800 number, right? So you don't get paid per airing, but you get paid based on how many inquiries they get,
right?
How many they sell, pretty much. One of those ads was Squatty Potty.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the Squatty Potty?
I do. Yeah, I remember the Squatty Potty.
Okay, so the Squatty Potty, the basis is that, if you lift your feet, gravity takes over and it helps you do your business.
Yeah. Brilliant, actually.
Yeah, brilliant. But I always had that thought in the back of my head as those ads played on radio and on television. What kind of a weird mind had to come up with that, right? I mean, obviously, someone who is in need, I get that. But also, was it a weirder mind that came up with that?
Yeah, who was sitting around thinking about that? And they were like, I know.
Right. Our questions have been answered this week.
Really?
The feds have arrested the Squatty Potty co-inventor on child abuse sex material charges.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Robert Edwards was arrested earlier this month following a 4.5-year investigation. He pleaded not guilty on a charge of receiving child pornography. Sometimes brilliant minds are also filthy ones as well.
Well, when his brilliance is all about taking a poop.
Yeah, right.
I'm sort of not that surprised.
Right. The co-inventor of the Squatty Potty, which was once featured on the ABC hit show Shark Tank, faces charges of allegedly receiving sexually explicit images of a child. That, according to a Monday release from the Justice Department, announcing an unsealed indictment against the business owner. Federal authorities arrested 50-year-old Robert Edwards of Ivins, Utah, earlier this month after a 4.5-year investigation showed that he had left 4.5 years. First of all, it wasn't just a 30-day investigation and then done. This is 4.5 years.
That's really wild. You just be watching someone for that amount of time knowing that they're doing something really bad.
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to make sure the case was solid, right? But 4.5-year investigation showed that he allegedly and knowingly received multiple images of child sex abuse material, according to the DOJ. Edwards first came to the Fed's attention back in March of 2021 when an undercover FBI agent joined a group chat used to trade CSAM and noted that participants viewed abuse videos streaming on the chat's main screen. The DOJ said the agent noted that participants were visible during the meeting, including a man later identified as Edwards. In addition, FBI agents suspected last May that Edwards was purchasing CSAM via PayPal, which led them to execute a search warrant in November. Huffington Post has reached out to Edwards' attorney, but no one immediately responded. Edwards is best known to Shark Tank fans as the co-creator of the Squatty Potty, a stool that props up the legs to support or supposedly ease bowel movements. Edwards and his mom, who is the co-inventor, made a deal with shark Lori Greiner in November of 2014 that led to the product eventually achieving total lifetime retail sales exceeding $260 million.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. All right. Next story. A Kentucky man covered in fur is arrested after allegedly being caught after having sex with a deer.
Him. Why are you telling me this?
Because I want to show you this picture. This is what a man who does something like that looks like.
Where are his eyes looking? Oh, he looks like straight out of a horror movie.
Doesn't he though? Doesn't he look like the typical guy who's drinking at a bar in northern Minnesota?
Oh man.
I saw this story and went, you have got to be kidding me. But this, okay, so, you know, I always, whenever I make a joke about Kentucky, people tell me, oh, people like from Kentucky are nothing like that. Hence, I read this story.
Is that where he's from?
He's from Kentucky. We go to Henderson, Kentucky. Now I'm going to get emails. A Kentucky man was arrested after he allegedly engaged in sexual activity with a deceased animal. Now, normally I don't read these stories because they're gross, but I'm gonna skim over this very quickly. Alan Osborne was taken into custody after he allegedly engaged in sexual relations with a dead deer. When speaking with the outlet, the Central City Police Department said that a man was driving through an area in Muhlenberg County when he noticed a man allegedly engaged in sexual intercourse with a deer on the side of the road. And he didn't do it to get the deer to the other side. I'll tell you that much right now.
One man's roadkill is another man's
girlfriend? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and say it.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Can't laugh at it. You'll cry at it, Jess. The witness then called 911, as he should. As he should.
I'm laughing. I'm throwing up inside of my mouth multiple times. The story has it all.
Right.
Running the gamut of my emotions right now.
When law enforcement arrived on the scene, they reportedly found Osborne covered in deer fur and blood.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say better a dead deer than a dead person. So on the bright side.
Right. I mean, his necrophilia was limited to the animal kingdom.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
good for him. I don't know.
There's bonus points. Osborne was arrested and charged with the following: sexual crimes against animals. That's it. He was then taken to the Muhlenberg. They couldn't come up with more creative stuff. Evidently, the police department couldn't. He was taken to the Muhlenberg County Detention Center where he's being held. Hopefully, they didn't serve him a half-live dinner. He would have fucked it. But thank you very much. That's the only.
They gave him a steak. No. He's a vegetarian.
He's holding himself and going, I'll take it rare. But yeah, that's the only...
I want that rotisserie chicken.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Raw.
Oh, no. That's a good one, Jess. There.
Sorry, friends.
No veggies or anything on the side. I'll just take it in a maid's outfit.
They're like, are we stuffing the turkey for Thanksgiving? Well, of course we are.
I am. Yeah.
Woo.
I've got one more horrible story.
Can't be worse than that, Tim.
Oh, you want to bet? And then,
no.
And then we'll lighten it up. Then we'll get out of here. A Fresno doctor's medical license was revoked after sexual misconduct finding. A Fresno doctor is accused of inappropriately touching a patient's vaginal area with his ungloved hand and had his license to practice medicine revoked. Can't imagine what his excuse was there. The board handed down a ruling on Friday to strip the license from Victor Lynn Perry, who's a surgeon with about 2 decades of experience who practiced in North Fresno. He was found to have engaged in sexual misconduct and unprofessional conduct. The 59-year-old Perry was ordered to pay about $65,000 in expenses incurred by the board as it investigated the 2021 incident that led to a complaint of sexual assault. The license will be officially revoked on February 24th, which has already passed. Attempts to reach Perry by mail and phone were unsuccessful. Now, here's the accusation against Dr. Victor Lynn Perry. A patient visited by a North Fresno office to see Perry on September 21st of 2021 for a follow-up appointment after neck surgery. According to the board's records, she told him that she had sciatic nerve pain. He told her to do some leg lifting movements before asking her to lie on an examination table. His examination began by pushing on the front of her groin in a half circle motion, according to board's records. As he got closer to her pubic region, he began to say, "It's okay, you're okay, I'm just adjusting." She was wearing a menstrual pad at the time, which he pulled from her underwear before assaulting her with his ungloved fingers. She ended the procedure before leaving the examination room, handing a receptionist a note that said, "Dr. Perry just totally violated me," as she left, according to the records. Fresno police were not able to find Perry at any of the medical offices connected to him. The record showed they used cell phone data to track him to a Kerman location. Based on Victor Lynn Perry's pattern of life between the years of 2021 and 2024, it is this investigator's belief that Victor Lynn Perry was being elusive and deceptive, according to records. A second doctor who reviewed the examination reports also argued the examination amounted to sexual misconduct. Assembly Bill 1636 from 2022 bars a doctor found to have committed sexual misconduct from being able to regain a lost license in California. Well, thank God for that. So,
no kidding. Like, that's brazen. And it makes you think that's not his first time doing something like that.
No. But thank God she spoke up. So that's
good for her.
Yeah. So that's that. All right. Let's get back to something kind of funny here. And a couple of funny stories before we're out of here. Governor Hochul of New York is letting a Long Island grandpa keep his pea-themed license plate in a win for dad jokes. I don't know quite how to explain the story or how this even got across the governor's desk.
Oh my!
But I will get to the story here in a second as my iPad is deciding whether it really wants to unveil the story or not. Governor Kathy Hochul spared a Long Island granddad's pea-themed license plate from getting flushed down the toilet after the DMV has revoked the tags. Is this 69-year-old? Is that how old this person is? Yeah. Motorist Seth Zigarowski had asked the Democratic governor to step in to pardon his vanity plate. You ready for this?
Yeah.
This is his license plate, and this is what got revoked by the state of New York. Pee before we go.
It's brilliant.
That's his license plate that got revoked.
I love it. Why did if they didn't like it, why'd they give it to him in the first place?
Right.
Come on.
Right. And Hochul answered the call on Tuesday afternoon, hours after a web report by the Post on the plea. So essentially, the state was going to revoke the plates. I find that hard to believe, or why that would even happen.
What a silly thing to be upset about. It's so cute.
Right. I don't get why someone would look at those plates and be offended, alarmed.
Wow.
How you could be driving down the highway and go, "Oh my God."
Wouldn't you just see it and laugh? Like, as soon as your brain made sense of what it was, you'd be like, "Oh, that's so cute."
How many times as a parent have you said that to your children?
Many.
Right. So why is that offensive?
We all pee. It's not like you even use bad language. It's just
right. I don't get why some people would see that and you almost, and it's PB for WEGO.
I love it.
So why? If you saw that on a Minnesota license plate, would you freak out? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think twice about it.
No, I would be fine. I'd freak out if I saw the guy on the side of the road doing the deer, but the license plate's perfectly fine.
Would you freak out if the guy were peeing on the dead deer? Let's combine the two. Would that be? I can think of worse stuff. I really can think of worse stuff.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, on license plate. And I've seen worse stuff on license plates that they've managed to get past the DMV. But this is relatively calm stuff. But
yeah, it's a dad joke.
It's a dad joke.
It's cute. You'd say it in front of, it's not even offensive remotely. People are weird.
Yeah, very weird indeed.
Everyone wants to be mad about something.
That's right. Everybody has to have some sort of outrage, right? It's otherwise it's not. I guess it's not our world. Everyone has certain tolerances, I guess. P before we go. Okay, so where does Governor Hochul come in here? Well, Governor Kathy Hochul. First of all, Zigarowski says it's a relief in so many ways. Get it? We can all safely now pee before we go here in New York. He says. Hochul personally called the West Hempstead man on Tuesday just to say you're in luck after he had spent weeks petitioning to hold on to his plates that promote hitting the facilities before buckling in. I loved it, she told Zigarowski of this hilarious message, according to a recording of the video call. I think everyone should be permitted to pee before you go. I support the effort wholeheartedly, she told him. The granddad had sported the license plate for more than 5 years before the DMV sent a letter in January saying that they had to go, which I don't get that the DMV said that the license plates had to go. The letter stated that a recent review found the message to be too inappropriate for street use and ordered him to destroy the tags. The granddad complied by getting them off the road, but was planning to hang the plates as bathroom decor if his appeal failed.
Yes, that's so cute.
Yeah, so he's going to put them up in his bathroom. After weeks of gridlock with the DMV, he then personally appealed to the governor. Zigarowski said he should get the same treatment as New Hampshire resident Wendy Auger, whose own Pee Before We Go plates were pardoned by former Governor Chris Sununu in 2019. In the end, Hochul said New York didn't think Pee Before We Go had to go. It was heartwarming and good to know that the government stands up for our rights, not only under the First Amendment, but to laugh at ourselves and to laugh at others, Zigarowski said. It was very much appreciated that the governor intervened. The dad, Joe King, said he had driven through at least 15 states with the message and said no one was ever offended by it. Police even pulled him over. Yeah.
People were just laughing. He's making the world a funnier place.
That's right. He said police even pulled him over once and got a laugh. So it wasn't a big deal. All right. And the final story before we get to our palate cleanser is this. A naked driver runs from a serious crash scene in East Hollywood, according to a bizarre video.
Oh.
And I have a
picture.
Here's a picture of him right here.
There he goes. Just running, naked down the street.
There's even a video of him doing it. Yeah.
Oh, my.
We go to East Hollywood, Los Angeles, where a new bizarre video shows a naked man running through the scene of a serious crash in East Hollywood. Los Angeles police say the streaking man seen in the video was driving one of the two vehicles involved in the crash. It happened on Thursday afternoon at Normandy Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard in East Hollywood. Multiple people were injured, according to the LAPD. The man fled the scene after the crash, bearing all and running down the street to the shock of bystanders. It was all caught on video. He's the one that caused the accident. He was going through a red light. He ran out of the vehicle naked. He was on drugs. It looked like he was homeless, said the witness, Ramondo Taylor. How Ramondo knew so much, I don't know.
All of that assessment just from his nude body running down the street.
Right, just from a nude man.
Well, there goes a homeless guy on drugs.
He's homeless. He's on drugs. I'd say he's about 6'10", 80 pounds.
He's a Sagittarius, Tim.
Yes, he is. Yes. The naked man was eventually arrested, and officers believe he was under the influence. Well, he got that much right. Way to go, Ramondo. He could possibly be charged with felony hit and run and DUI.
Can you imagine your surprise, though? First, you're startled because you got hit. Then you're startled because the person who hit you just jumped out of their car and ran away naked.
Right. Yeah. And you might smell a little crack in the air. You never know. So, I don't know how...
It's a little cracky in here.
Yeah. But somebody ought to hire Ramondo to be a psychic because evidently he had it nailed.
He's good.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Ramondo, come on and give us some readings. Tell us our future.
That's right. Get your future with Ramondo. Ramondo. Evidently, he can read the scene when he comes upon it. All right, it's time for a palate cleanser. And with our palate cleanser, ladies, you know that here on True Crime Tuesday and Darkness Radio, we, if anything, are out to basically look after you and look after your futures, right? If I didn't just lose my story here, by gosh, my story just disappeared on me. But we're looking out for you here on our program. And according to Vogue magazine, again, if my story didn't completely disappear on me, I'm looking for it here. An ad just popped up on me. I'm hoping to get rid of it. It is, according to Vogue magazine, the year of the crack. We want to make sure we keep you up on your fashion.
The drugs?
Oh, no, Jess. No, let me explain. Okay. Teyana Taylor already brought to our attention when she hit the 2026 Golden Globes red carpet in her ultra sexy custom black, is it Schiaparelli, right?
Sure.
Then she turned around and ta-da, the crack is covered in diamonds.
Whoa, the crack.
The crack.
Mm-hmm.
The butt crack.
I can do that, Tim. We have all these little bedazzled jewels. I could bedazzle all of my cracks on everything I own.
See?
I'm going to be so cool.
Yeah, there you go. She said this on the E-red carpet. Indeed, Taylor's LBD was lower. LBD? What is LBD?
I don't know.
Was complete with a rhinestone-encrusted whale tail, topped off with a ladylike bow. At the 2025 Met Gala, Vogue declared that boobs are back, a truth that would resonate throughout the year. That was 2025, keep in mind. It's 2026 now.
All right, so last year was about the boobs. This year it's about the crack.
It's about the crack. So last year, the truth that would resonate throughout the year was heaving bosoms, both natural and man-made, appearing on red carpets everywhere. Now 2026 is shaping up to prioritize a different kind of cleavage. That's right. After Alexander McQueen's spring 1995 collection introduced the Bumpster, The derriere-bearing look has enjoyed several resurgences, most recently in McQueen's Spring 2026 collection by Sean McGurr. Alex Consani sauntered down the runway in a pair of ruffled red lace trousers, her bottom pushed up over the top of the leather waistband like breast in a push-up bra.
Huh.
Yeah.
So all you plumbers out there, this is your year.
Your wannabe. Yeah, yeah. All you Roto-Rooter guys, accentuate.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide it.
Hang out, bro.
Yeah. Might want to think about shaving it down there. You know what I'm saying, guys? Yeah. Shave and accentuate.
So how do you get it to push up? I had a friend who was in beauty pageants and I helped her get ready for one, and we had to like tape her boobs so they would push up. Do you tape your butt?
Like this. Oh, can you see it?
Okay. I do, yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. You kind of
Maybe it's because I don't have my glasses on. It looks like her legs were bloody.
Oh no, she's got red lace leggings on. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like raw meat legs.
But she's got the waistband down just slightly, so that and then the waistband's very tight, so it pushes up the crack a little bit.
There you go. And all those jeans that kind of don't fit you, ladies.
Yep.
There you go. A little tight back there. Push up the butt cheeks.
That's right. So it's the year of the crack, ladies. That's not the only thing I'm going to leave you with today. I didn't want to disappoint if you're like, oh, maybe I've got a little too much crack to be putting out there, and that's not how we're going to leave you today. We're going to leave you today with a heartwarming story. Have you heard of Punch the Monkey? And I don't mean like Punch the Monkey. I mean like,
Yes, he's so cute.
Right. We're going to talk about Punch the Monkey today.
Oh, this is the best way to end the show.
As there's an update on Punch the Monkey. Punch the Monkey, as you may not know, was a monkey who was abandoned by his mother. And Punch basically has a stuffed orangutan that he carries around with him because he's a little lonely and he needs a friend. Well, Punch the Monkey and his new pal are cozying up to a stuffed orangutan in a heartwarming new video that's out there now. Punch, the 7-month-old macaque who stole the internet's heart, has made a new pal at Ichikawa City in the zoo in Japan. And he's introduced his new buddy to the most important thing in his life. So he has a new friend in the zoo, and he had introduced it to his stuffed orangutan. Mm-hmm. In a heartwarming video shared on Instagram this week, baby Punch and his new macaque friend are seen hanging out as they both cozy up to Punch's stuffed orangutan toy. Baby Punch went viral last month after the zoo outside Tokyo shared footage of the young macaque who had become completely attached to the stuffed orangutan, cuddling as if he falls asleep and dragging it everywhere, despite it being bigger than him. After he was abandoned by his mother after his birth and lacking maternal guidance, Punch had trouble fitting in, as highlighted by a particularly heartbreaking video emerging last month where he was beaten and dragged by the older monkeys. The plush toy has helped him turn a corner. In the new video, a Japanese blogger who has been documenting Punch's adventures said she asked staff about the incident. The zookeeper told me the other day after the zoo closed, Punchy walked on a monkey's balls. That's why he got scolded. Yeah, that's why he got scolded. He walked on a monkey's balls.
He didn't know.
Oh,
he's just a baby.
Yeah. She wrote that, adding the zookeeper told her he wasn't bullied. He was just learning the rules. He's a very mischievous boy. I feel relieved, she admitted. Well, I don't know if that's any reason to feel relieved. In the footage, Punch and his new friend are even seen sharing a bite, hanging out in a corner of the monkey enclosure and munching on tiny pieces of food they pick up from the stuffed orangutan. So he's got a little buddy now.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, he's got a little buddy and they hang out with the stuffed orangutan.
You know, that stuffed orangutan is from IKEA.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't get it anymore. It's sold out.
Yeah, everyone's been buying it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw Saturday Night Live this weekend, but they Sarah Sherman did a little bit about being Punch's mom.
Oh.
And she acts like she's been on like the Jerry Springer show or on Maury before. And it's a hilarious bit. So, yeah. And then
I'll have to check it out.
And then Marcello shows up as Punch and does the whole, why did you give me up? it's kind of funny. It's a funny bit. So yeah, you can see it on YouTube. It's a funny bit. So that's our palate cleanser for today.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, Punch has a buddy. So
yay.
So there you go. So that'll do it for today. That's Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. What's going on in your world, Jess?
Oh gosh, I have an event I'm speaking at this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll be at that, and I just finished a book about witches.
Really?
Yes, I'm so excited. That one comes out in the fall. So I'm going to take a little break and paint my daughter's bedroom next weekend. I'm not going to write anything. We're going to do a little painting. But yeah, that's it. That's my world right there in a nutshell.
Nice. All right. Reminder to go get Brad Meltzer's new book, The Viper. We have a link in the description of the program. Very good book. Excellent book. Wow. Excellent book. What else? By the way, I went and had the smoked prime rib dinner Friday night at Jelly Bean and Julia's.
Oh, yes.
It'll knock you off your feet. If you're here in Minnesota at 2501 Coon Rapids Boulevard, every Friday night, smoked prime rib dinner over at Jelly Bean and Julia's. Go try it. It's amazing. True Crime Tuesday swag. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, mugs, desk mat, much, much more. Go get your True Crime Tuesday swag. DarknessRadioshow.com in the shop. Go get it. Support the show. Other than that, we're in the process of updating the Apple app for Darkness Radio. Look for the update. And that's about it for now. Tomorrow, Supernatural News. And then Thursday, an old friend stops by. And we're talking time travel.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's all this week. It's a huge week this week, Jess.
Yeah, it's a great week, Tim.
Yeah.
You really
got a great week.
Really hitting some home runs lately.
We're trying. But yeah, we started off with a bang this week. So it's going to be a great week. So that'll do it for this week. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much, folks, for continuing to listen and watch us and continuing to give us good reviews and rate us. And we'll see you tomorrow for Supernatural News right here on the best in true crime, and continuing to watch and listen to us here. I don't know. I'm screwing things up. We need to get out of here. Thank you for continuing to watch and listen to us here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.